Small blessings. Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. For once, I gotta back Deontay's pick. Now, Gerald Washington, he's green. I'll give you that. Never been on the championship level. Still moving his way up boxing. But I'm going to tell you guys this. Gerald Washington understands the sweet science of hitting and not getting hit. Now, I don't know how his stamina will be. I don't know if he'll be mentally in the game 100% throughout the fight. But if he is, I'm telling you now, this is going to be a good fight, folks. There's one you don't want to miss. It's a sleeper. Gerald Washington versus Deontay Wilder. I think Wilder did a good job of picking Gerald Washington. I mean, Gerald Washington's going to be a little green when he gets in there. But I know he is a student of the sweet science. And Gerald Washington appreciates being able to hit and not get hit. I watched this fight against Amir Mansour where I thought Gerald Washington won that fight. Yes, Amir Mansour started tagging Gerald Washington. He wasn't as sharp in the middle to late rounds, I agree. And he needs to stay sharp for 12 rounds against Deontay Wilder. For 12 rounds. You can't afford to be not sharp. Wilder's a lot faster. Got a lot more power. But at the end of the day, if Gerald Washington can maintain his conditioning, keep his mental focus, stay sharp throughout that fight, strange as it might sound, he can win this fight. So Gerald Washington has everything necessary to win the fight, except I don't know how his conditioning is and I don't know how his mental focus will be. Those are two very important things. You got to be mentally focused and your conditioning got to be on point. He got all the boxing skills, he's just sharpening the tools. But his conditioning and his mental focus is either going to keep him up in this fight and make it competitive, or it's going to take him out of this fight and he's going to get knocked out, or he just go 12 round drumming. Okay? I think he's a big, strong heavyweight. I think he has a lot of potential. I think this is a big step up for him to just go from being a prospect, which is almost to the level of contender, but it's still a big leap. He still hasn't gone through one more gatekeeper he needed to go through, but he hasn't done that. I would say, though, the preparation against Amir Mansour was good preparation, so I'm not mad at him. I know he's tough. I know he's strong. But I think he just needs to be mentally focused, and he needs to be sharp. And he has to maintain those things for 12 rounds. And I think Deontay Wilder is going to have an interesting task ahead of him if that Gerald Washington shows up in the fight. Because Gerald Washington is a smart fighter. He's not soft-chinned like Malik Scott. He can box, but he can also punch. He can also fight. So I'm very interested in seeing what happens. It's just kind of, you might say it's a little too early for him. So he's going to be green in there. And that's going to be the interesting part. But I think if Deontay Wilder had to pick anybody, this is his best pick he could have picked. I'm not sure if he's going to knock out Gerald Washington, because Gerald Washington hasn't been at that level and he's green, so it's possible he could get stopped, even though I don't think so. It depends on his conditioning, of course, and it depends on his focus. Gerald Washington's a big dude, just like Deontay Wilder, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting fight. I'm rooting for Gerald, not necessarily to win, but to give a good account of himself, not get stopped by Deontay Wilder. Wilder shouldn't chalk it up to his hand if he doesn't stop Gerald Washington, because Gerald Washington has some very good defense and he can be very sharp. So the real question is going to be, can Gerald stay sharp? Can he stay focused in this fight? He stays sharp and he stays focused, he has a good chance of winning. Seriously. I know it sounds funny, but he really does. So this is a fight that I'm not going to bypass. This is a sleeper fight. You don't want to miss this one. You don't want to miss Adrian Broner versus Adrian Granados. You don't want to miss those two fights, because Granados always brings it. And Gerald Washington will hopefully bring, I know he's a smart fighter, so he's going to bring a couple tools to the game This is not going to be something where Deontay Wilder is pounding on Gerald Washington for 12 rounds. That's not going to happen at all. What I want to know is, will he get pounded on in the later rounds when he starts to get winded? Or will he be focused enough to stay on point for 12 rounds? That's the question. And we'll see. On that note, you guys have a great one.